during Maidan uprising, which began 2013 when protests in Ukraine resulted the overthrow of Kremlin-backed President Viktor. Yanukovych. Many of country's filmmakers came together to form a collective known as Babylon 13, focused on exposing Russian aggression in their own country. After Putin launched a full-scale invasion, I began corresponding with some of these filmmakers, hoping to find a local perspective on the war. In March 2022, I met Dmytro Sukholytkyy-Sobchuk, one of the country's most exciting young auteurs, in a troubled Zoom meeting. He was signing from western Ukraine, where he was volunteering with Babylon 13 to capture the events of the unfolding war. He told me about a group of religious sculptors he met near Lviv who were being retrained to build defensive barriers. We both felt these would be fascinating subjects for a documentary. This idea became the New Yorker's original film, The Rite of Anti-Tank Obstacles. From the beginning, Dmytro and I knew we wanted to make a non-violent war film. Instead, the hope was to highlight the new reality of ordinary Ukrainians. Dmytro shot documentary over 3 weeks and captured the artists near Lviv at a transformative moment. It's a moment that resonates with other experiences across country whose lives have been reshaped by war and national defense efforts. The resulting film premiered at festivals including Sundance and Toronto International Film Festival and won first prize in documentary competition at Huesca International Film Festival, qualifying it for 2024 Academy Awards. The call came at a busy time for him. As the war continues, he teaches filmmaking and goes on tours with his first feature film, Pamfir, about a man involved in criminal organizations and set against the background of his village's annual carnival. New Yorker documentary. View the latest film or submit your own. Although there is a lot of Eastern Orthodox religious wry in the film, Dmytro himself does not believe in it. Ukraine is a secular country, and President Zelensky is Jewish. What attracted him to these artists was not their religiosity but their assumption of a version of the same pragmatic axis he saw across the country. When the invasion began, sculptors were creating statues of the Virgin Mary or angels with expressions of happiness. Just weeks later they began building anti-tank obstacles. All over the country, Ukrainians were turning to defensive efforts. No matter what you were doing before the war, you start to discover your abilities, Dmytro told me. This change impressed me. Dmytro had undergone a similar transformation. He was in Kiev with his wife when Russian forces invaded. They're not far from the airport, and he remembers waking up from the ing. A nearby house was damaged. He immediately began in the capital. He saw his responsibilities as a director overlapping with his responsibilities as a citizen, saying that he made films so that you can see how people defend sovereignty.